All right, so my name is Mark Anderson. I'm the game director on DC Universe Online. We're here at Comic-Con and we're happy to be showing off Fight for the Light, which is our first downloadable sort of micro expansion pack. We want to bring you guys these things sooner. Everybody's been asking for Lantern powers. It's been our #1 question since launch. We wanted to bring it to you in its full glory in a way that really delivered on that fantasy. We scrapped everything we had before, and now we've got something that we really feel good about. So what we're showing off here is a demo that we did specifically for Comic-Con. Takes place in the science cells on OA. Going to give you a little bit of taste of OA here, a little bit of some of the greatest villains from the Lantern Corps. So you're in here, you're helping Hal out a little bit. We've got Vice that makes an appearance in here, Krona makes an appearance, Alyssa Drack makes an appearance in here. And we're really trying to double down on all the characters from the Lantern lore for you. So the big thing that we're showing off here, so here's Alyssa that you can get a little taste of. She's going to do a little reading from the Book of Parallax. Some of your greatest fears come to life. So the big thing that we're showing off is light powers. And the big new thing that's different about light powers is we didn't want to just give you a typical power set. What we've done is we've interleaved weapons and traditional superpowers so that they link together. In the same way that combos link together, you can now create a construct weapon from your superpower tray, use it with its own combo set, and then link it back to another weapon or another superpower. You can then link that superpower or that weapon, pull it through its combo, link it to another superpower, and just keep that chain going. So in this case, you'll see her reading from the Book of Parallax. So one of the supercharged abilities here is an Apache helicopter that you'll see roll in and take some shots. Really kind of pays off on the things. These are kind of one-shot powers. We also have the things we've got, with this side, we've got chain guns set up. You've seen a locomotive that's a big pushback that you can call. That's one of the things that you can chain out of your powers. So you can do a boxing gloves. You summon up your boxing gloves, get the first hit. You can then keep that going with your melee attacks and then finish that up with a ranged ability by holding the triangle key and launching that locomotive at your enemies. You can then combo off of that train and combo into other things, so it's a really deep power tree. We have hero and villain versions of this. They're functionally equivalent, but we do pay off on the actual constructs themselves. So for the Lanterns, you'll see things like giant hands that are a stun. You can chain that together, get several hand claps on a guy. On the Sinestro core side of things with the yellow, you've got these giant bony hands. So a lot of those things sort of pay off on each other, but we want to make sure that those things are equivalent and that we have good parity. So right now those things are functional equivalents. We have a duo for you in there in Coast City. We have a 4-man alert in Coast City. Take you through Atrocitus is in there. You go to Ferris Air. What else? We've got there's a comic cutscene, a little bit of origin on how. We wrap up the story with Brainiac and the power of the logic batteries inside Star Labs, and obviously we take you to the science cells. We've got new gear drops based on the Lantern stuff, so the sort of streamlined, form-fitting armor. It's not a tiered armor set, but it gives you a lot of the look. Here you'll see this sort of Guy Gardner-inspired jacket. Kyle Rayner makes an appearance. Guy Gardner's in there. We think people will be happy.
You've made me happy already. I mean, I'm just listening to this, I'm getting kind of like excited and a little bit teary-eyed.
And all this excitement and tears for only $9.99.
That's a good price.
That really is. I know a lot of people have been like, hey, why are you charging me for this already? The whole idea is this is the stuff that we would have typically put into an expansion. And rather than work on stuff for a year and have everybody wait, you know, I did a panel at Comic-Con before we launched in New York, and everybody wanted to know when we could be in Lantern. We didn't feel like the powers were good enough. They were sort of a neutralized light thing. It wasn't paying off on a Green Lantern fantasy, and we wanted to be able to give you actual Green Lantern powers. And so that meant a lot of working with DC, a lot of working with our partners to make sure that we did that in a way that was really delivered on the fantasy. So you're a full Lantern reservist. In this case, your power ring is sort of pre-programmed with these constructs, right? But you're able to use them and link them together in imaginative ways, and that was really important to us to pay off on the license in that way.
So right now there's only 2 lights that you can play as, the yellow and the green. Is there any other coming out?
Yellow and green. The other ones are hard, right? Like, you know, we've got the reds in here. You get to see Vice, you get to see Atrocitus. Atrocitus is really the only one that uses constructs, right? So we couldn't have a bunch of reds running around using those constructs. So Reds can do a lot of cool things. We didn't feel like it had the depth that it needed to be a player package. We didn't want to just give you a color. We didn't want to just rebrand the red and go, It's the same as green and yellow, but it's red. They're unique in their own right. It's something that we know players want. We want to bring you the whole spectrum, but we got to do it right. So.
Yeah. For any other Green Lanterns, do we have a Kilowog? Natu is another one I'm thinking of.
Kilowog's in there for sure. Who else do we have in there? Obviously, the Manhunters are in there. We talked about Krona. Krona was somebody that was important to us because we wanted to sort of expose players to the sort of origin of the ring. So he's got his gauntlet, he's got the huge backpack, and you sort of get to see the version 0.1 of the rings when it was sort of huge and backpack bound. That should give you a pretty good idea of some of the people that you're going to see in there.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. When can we expect this to be coming out?
It's pretty close. We're pretty happy with it. What'll happen is we'll put it on the test server next. We'll get players' feedback on it. We'll make sure that everything is tested under a full load. So you could expect it to be coming out later on this summer.